Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Mr Pekri and today we're going to be doing some more maths. Last time we were looking at unit fractions with 1 as our numerator, and today we're going to move on to non-unit fractions where our numerator will be different. Okay, so just like we did in the last video, we're going to start with a unit fraction, which is when I've only got 1 as my numerator. So my fraction is 1/5, and I want to find 1/5 of 15. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my denominator, and I know that I need to divide it into 5 different groups. So I need to share 15 into 5 groups equally. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 5 circles because I know that I'm going to be sharing into 5 groups. So that's 3, 4, and 5. Now that I've done that, I need to share 15 between these 5 circles equally. So I'm going to use some sweets to help me. You can use whatever you like. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to count up to 15 while sharing it between each circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So now I can see, if I look at my circles, that I've got 3 sweets in each circle. So this is 1/5, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5/5. But I'm only looking for 1/5. So I just need to count how many is in one circle, which is 1, 2, and 3. Which means that 1/5 of 15 is 3. We just found what 1/5 of 15 is, but I'm going to start this new as if I never found what it was. So now I need to find 2/5. Now this is a non-unit fraction because 1 is not the numerator. So I need to find 2/5 of 15. So I'm still going to do the same method. I'm still going to draw 5 circles because my denominator is still 5. So I need to draw my 5 circles again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I still need to do the same method that I did when I wanted to find 1/5. Except this time at the end, I need to count how many sweets I have in 2/5. So let's do the same again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So I've got 15 all together now, and I want to know what 2/5 are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle 2 of my fifths. So I've got 1 here and I've got 1 here. So I've circled 2 of them, and I'm going to count how many sweets I have in 2/5. So in 1/3 I've got 1, 2, 3, which means I should have 3 in this one, and I do. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 2/5. So I use the same method, except this time I circled how many fifths I needed. I'm going to show you another example with a different fraction now. Okay, now we're going to move on to another non-unit fraction. So my fraction is 3/7. So my numerator is 3 and my denominator is 7. Now my denominator is how many groups I need to share my number into. So the first thing I need to do is draw 7 circles. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this is a bigger number, so I'm not going to use my sweets. I'm just going to draw some dots with a whiteboard pen. So I need to share 28 equally between 7 groups, which I've drawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just like I did with the sweets, I'm going to draw some dots or circles to represent my number until I get to 28. So I'm going to count it so you can keep up with me. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Now, I've reached my number, which means every group should have the same amount inside. So if I just look at them, I can see that there is 4 circles or dots in every single group. Now, if I was looking for 1/7, I would only need 1 of my circles. But I want 3/7, so I'm going to circle 3 of my groups. So now I need to count how many dots there are in 3 groups. So I know there's 4 in each group, so I'm going to count in 4s. So I've got 4, 8, 12 dots in my group. So 3/7 is 12. So 3/7 of 28 is 12. Okay, now my fraction is 5/6. So it's a bit bigger than the last ones, which means I'm just going to need to circle more of my groups at the end. So I need to do the same thing again. I'm going to use the same method. So my denominator is 6, which means I need to share 24 into 6 equal groups. So I'm going to draw 6 circles. They're going to be my groups. And then I'm going to share 24 into them equally. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. And now I need to share 24 into them equally, and then I can find what 5/6 are. So 24, I need to count up to it until I have filled my 6 groups. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I filled up my groups with my 24 and I've shared it between them equally. Now I want 5/6 of 24. So out of my 6 groups, I need to circle 5 of them because that's what I want my answer for. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. I've circled all of those. So however many dots I have altogether now in here, that's what my answer is. So just like last time, I can see that there is 4 in each group. So I'm going to count in 4s. So I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So I know that 5/6 of 24 is 20. Okay, we're going to do one more example like this, and then I'm going to give you a challenge at the end. So this time my fraction is 4/8. So my numerator is 4 and my denominator is 8. So I need to share my number 32 into 8 groups because I want 4/8 of 32. So the first thing I need to do is draw my 8 groups. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 groups. And just like my last ones, I need to share 32 into my 8 groups equally. So each group is going to have the same amount of circles or dots, whatever you want to choose, at the end. So I need to go up to 32. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. So each of my groups should have the same number of lines in them. So if I look at them carefully, I can see that there's 4 in every single group. But I only want 4 eighths, so I only want to count 4 of my groups. So I'm going to circle them now. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're the ones I'm going to circle. So now I need to count up how many there are all together. So I've got 4 in each circle again. So I'm going to count in 4s. I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, which means that 4 eighths is 16. Now, when I looked at this fraction when I started, I knew that it was the same as 1/2. So you need to look at your fractions before you do a question and see if there's any clues to what the answer might be. Because I know that 4 eighths is the same as 1/2. And it's a lot easier for me to find 1/2 of 32 because you might be able to do it in your head. Now I'm going to give you a challenge question if you've been doing these ones really easily. Okay, now this is a challenge. You don't have to do this unless you're really confident with the rest of the fractions. So sometimes you'll see fractions that are top heavy. So your numerator will sometimes be bigger than your denominator. And all you need to do with these is turn them into mixed numbers, which is basically a number and then the remaining fraction. So I've got 5 quarters here, and we know that we can't have 5 quarters. So I know that 1/4 will be left over because 4 plus 1 is 5. But what I need to do first is think about how much 4 quarters is. Now 4 quarters is the same as 1 whole. So for my 1, I just need to write the number 1 because it's not a fraction, it's the whole number. And then after my 4 quarters, I've got 1/4 left. So that is what will be left over. So this in a whole number and a mixed number, is 1 and 1/4. So let's look at another one. 6/3. I can't have 6/3 because that'll be more than 1. So I know that 3/3 will be 1, and another 3/3, because I can see that my number is 6, will make 2. So really, 6/3 is the same as 2. So this is not a fraction because it can be a whole number. And I've got one more here. I've got 7/5. So I know that 5/5 would be 1. That's a whole number. And I've got 2/5 left over because 5 plus 2 makes 7. So I've got 2/5 left, which means that 7/5 is the same as 1 and 2/5. And that is it for today. Okay everyone, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you learnt something. Remember, if you still struggle a little bit, you can always watch the video again and go over it as much as you can. And it's always a good idea to make some resources to help you. And I hope you're ready for the next video.